Oh, I'm so grateful for Wi-Fi and that this is going to work. I am at my kids' therapy and sitting outside my kids' therapy, and this has always been like a hellhole of service that I'm so frustrated that I can't do anything while I'm here because there's not any service. And then today I got this like divine inspiration that I asked them for the Wi-Fi password. It's so simple sometimes. It's so simple sometimes, right? So stupid simple sometimes. And today feels like one of these aha moments of something that I've really been struggling with and something that's really been holding me back. And how simple the answer is because I know the answer. It was just so simple to be like, oh, do you guys have Wi-Fi? And they pulled out a piece of paper from the drawer and handed it to me. And they're like, yeah, cell phone service here sucks. So we've got great Wi-Fi. And it feels like the same aha moment with myself today that was like, oh, how else are you struggling with this? I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm not driving. I'm anxious. I'm feeling very anxious. The energy in collective shifting right now is very intense, and it's been very, very heavy. A lot of grief. And what I know about grief is that it is one of the most beautiful, like authentically beautiful processes, in that it's this like breaking down of everything onto the floor where you just like sit in the brokenness on the floor and then get to look at all of the pieces and decide what you're going to pick up, how you're going to pick it up, how you're going to put it back together. Do you want to refinish it? Do you want to like, it's really beautiful. It's destructive and exhausting and painful, but it is the phoenix lighting themselves on fire, right? A phoenix actually can't rise. It's always like the phoenix rising from the ashes. There was a fucking fire first, and a phoenix has to look around and go, oh, like life is fine, but like let's start anew. And like past a burst into flames nor arise from the ashes. And so we are all right now in the opportunity of a collective bursting aflame. And one of the things, yes, I will absolutely do a grounding tapping session. Thank you for answering. It's 11:11. Thank you for answering the kind of session that we're going to do. And it's funny because I caught myself moving away from tapping content. This is for Gala Darling. Hi, Gala. Dear Gala Darling, I caught myself moving away from tapping content, not because I don't love it, not because I'm not fucking good at it, not because I don't use it every day, but because I was telling myself some bullshit story about how I can't build a business around tapping content, which is just one of the things that I do, right? But like I can't integrate it so greatly into my business because that's what Gala does. You know what Gala would say? Bitch, and great. Now we both do it. Like her and Brad both do tapping. What? And so it was like, oh, like, how do I make this easy? And it's that I get to give credit where credit is due. So for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with CPTSD. All the diagnoses I actually received at the time when I went to 35 days of inpatient mental health care treatment in May of 2018, when I was 6 weeks postpartum, I was diagnosed with complex PTSD, dissociation, depression in remission, general anxiety disorder, and suspected ADHD. But considering the intensity of circumstances, you can't really give an ADHD diagnosis there. So, life was overwhelming and hard, and had come to a crashing halt. And due to like symptoms I was experiencing with mental illness. And I went to a dual diagnosis rehab, trauma and addiction rehabilitation facility. And so I ended up in rehab, which was so interesting, instead of a psych ward, which is exactly where I was supposed to be. And I'm so glad I ended up in rehab, not a psych ward. And I'm so grateful for the way that my story and things lined up so that I ended up there instead of somewhere else. This is me choosing gratitude over it because it feels that way too. And one of my outpatient plans was that we had reached a point in my treatment, and my therapist was doing some research, and she was like, I don't personally have much experience with it, but I think EFT and tapping is something for you to look into. I think it's a big deal for you to look into. So the same week I graduate from treatment and get told to look into tapping is the exact same week that Gala started High Vibe Honey, the weekly tapping thing. We're soul family, girl. And it was like, oh, and I've been following Gala in and out since 2006, which was the year I graduated high school and moved to college is when I found her. And it's when I started my first blog. And, so I got to sit down and I suddenly had this framework to follow along with and sit down with Gala in a way that like felt fun and exciting and something motivated me. And then I also started tapping with Brad Yates, who she suggested and referred me to. And I was tapping every day, multiple times a day, because I was straight out of treatment back into being a full-time mom of a 3-month-old. 2-month-old, 2.5 months. I don't even know how old Fourth was when I got out of treatment, because I'd been away from my newborn baby, who was 6 weeks old, for 40 days. Back into that and a baby. Rowan was 19 months old. And so like it was just a mess of PTSD symptoms and dissociation and just like trying to fucking integrate all day, every day. And I just started tapping literally nonstop. Like, okay, like learning that tapping is a modality where you are willfully moving energy through your energy meridian points. You are willfully moving emotion and energy through and out your body. And as someone who is clairsentient, claircognizant, clairaudient, clairvoyant, starting to be clairfragrant, as somebody who experiences the world very closely, energetically, and very intensely with all the intuitive work that I do, and the psychic work and all of that, it was like, oh, this makes sense to me because it's all just energy. It's all just energy I have a perspective and an experience on, right? And so I just started tapping nonstop. And through tapping and somatic experiencing, which was facilitated in Reiki treatments and massage, and then through therapy, and then like spiritual stuff, I was able to like heal my PTSD symptoms. They come up in times of like intensity, but I don't really experiencing PTSD symptoms much anymore. Unless it's like a literal life or death experience, unless it's something that makes sense. When I was experiencing PTSD dissociative symptoms from like a phone number I didn't know calling me because I had lived experience that wasn't safe. And so I've been telling myself the story that I can't see. Thank you. Is that Abby? I think that's Abby. That like I can't integrate tapping so much in my business because Gala does, and like she already did it, and she's got pink hair and I've got the blue and green hair, and I'm just like, oh, this is the mean fucking bitch in the back of my head. I am just the watered down version of a Van Gogh styled Gala. Oh my god, bitch! No! How dare you? How dare you say that to me? How dare that you say that to us? How dare you try and even separate Gala and us and I when we are here of the same soul family doing the same level of work together? And Gala doesn't do trauma work. Gala does own your shit and live your best life and like take ownership of your best life work. I do trauma work. You're very different things and we are very different people. And Gala, who taught me so much, you know what she would say was, bitch, how dare you? Also to that bitch in the back of my head. So, shame can only exist in the dark. Shame must exist in secret. And shame is ultimately what keeps us from doing things, right? That like, well, I don't want other people. I'm afraid or ashamed of like I'm trying to take something of somebody else's. Like I'm trying to pretend like I'm something I'm not. Whatever. Shame is all about like that we're not good enough. Right? And it can't exist in secret. So me speaking this out means I not only get to tell Gala, thank you. Thank you. Because you showing up exactly when you did helped me to heal in a way where I was whole enough to be able to show up for my children in a safe way. Thank you. And thank you for guiding the light to connect me into this thing that just like naturally clicked for me. And I don't know how much longer it was that I started doing tapping. I started really seriously doing it last holiday season, on TikTok and doing these mini tappings. But getting to show up and do it with other people, like, I don't have to tell you, like, it's a drug. Like, in terms of experiencing the world fully energetically, it's a fucking drug. To watch people's frequency change, for me, can be like a fireworks show. If I'm in a room with people, watching somebody's frequency change through tapping is like an energetic fireworks show. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. And of course I'm integrating this into my business because I'm fucking good at it. And because it helps. And because why would I get to learn it from you and then have this calling to do so if it weren't exactly for me? And my friend Whitney, last night, she owns this yoga studio, and I've just like watched it like pull her to create itself. And what she said last night was like, why not you? Like, the exact lived experiences you've had with the skills and education and like perspective and abilities and all of it, why not you? I'm like, fucking, you're right. Like, I am so good at this. So that's where I'm at. We're going to be tapping a whole lot more. We've got a free challenge coming up, which is going to be so good. I'm so excited. Yeah. And how about we do some tapping now? Who wants to do some tapping now? I would like to do some tapping now. Water. Hydrate. Hydrate, bitch. Thank you. I'm ready to talk about IFS stuff more too. The things that I'm like, you're not supposed to talk about because you're crazy. Whatever. Okay. Bring palms together. Shake it out. Shaking is a way of somatic experiencing. It helps us get our body, like the stagnant shit out of our body. Okay. No, we're just going to go top of the head. I'm going to say some things that may not relate to you exactly. You can either follow along. Yep. Let's just kind of go through some points. And I'm actually going to do pressure today. So sensory, all you're going to do is do what I do, say what I say. Do what I do, say what I say. Oh, that was almost throw up. You can either do tapping on the points, or if sensory challenges are something for you, doing pressure can feel really nice and soothing and refreshing. So anytime I'm feeling really anxious, not notice I didn't say when I have anxiety. No, when I'm feeling fucking anxious, don't own that thing like a damn pet anymore. Points of your ribcage. There's also a couple points I do that Gala doesn't, because I, after following along with her and digging much more in, so side of the ribcage, to self-educating myself, do some more points because trauma tapping stuff. Okay, shake it out. Top of the head. Okay, so I'm going to say some things. You can either follow along with me exactly or use your own wording that feels good, okay? Insert whatever feels right for you today, but my kids are sucking the life out of me. I feel like my kids are sucking the life out of me. Maybe for you that's a job. Maybe for you that's a living situation. Maybe for you that's a relationship. Maybe for you that's addiction. I feel like my kids are sucking the life out of me. And like, so much is happening around me. So much is happening internally that I wonder how I'll even have space. I feel like I don't have space to fully look at it and start processing. So because of that, I'm feeling floaty. I'm all up in my head, running through a million fucking scenarios, planning how I would theoretically respond to all the scenarios as a way of feeling like, as a way of pretending like I actually have any control over what's happening around me. So I'm spending my bandwidth with my wheels spinning instead of just turning off the engine and breathing. Big inhale. Switch points on your exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. Switch points on your exhale. Relax your jaw. I want to feel grounded. Points. I want to feel present. I want to feel like I'm engaging in my life. And I want to feel... Go away, Patrick. I want to feel like I'm engaging in my life. And I want to feel surrender to something greater than me that is fucking obsessed with me, pulling me in the right direction of the life I'm creating. I love myself unconditionally. I accept myself deeply and completely. I forgive myself relentlessly for the stories I've been telling that I'm not good enough, that it's not safe to be seen, that I'm not worthy of what I want, that I need permission. Settle into that one. That I need permission to expand and go after what I want. I'm releasing those stories. They aren't mine. They were written for me by a giant corporation that feeds off my insecurity. Trillions of dollars have been spent to program me for insecurity. I love myself unconditionally. I accept myself wholeheartedly. I forgive myself for all the ways I've been holding myself back, and I'm rewriting that story. I am so brave. I'm so smart. Ooh, someone doesn't believe that one. I'm so smart. I trust myself. I'm learning and choosing to trust myself. When I make my intuition the guiding force for all, everything flows to me in divine timing and ease. I am safe. It is safe to be me. I am worthy of taking the steps to have what I want, and deserving of being seen. I am safe. I am supported. I am loved. I am free. So it is. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Drink some water. Gala, thank you. And thanks for tapping with me. So glad that you're here. And all of you, thank you. Thank you for showing up for yourself, which by default is showing up for all of us as a whole. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for reaching out and telling me your stories and being open with me about the work that you have done through the education and guidance and support and facilitation I have offered you, because it gives me motivation to keep going and moving through my own things, to be able to keep expanding and showing up. That matters. You matter. You mattered to me today, and those who showed up live, you being here at exactly this moment would have made, had you not been, it would have made this experience right now different. And this is personally exactly the experience I needed to have. So, you're important, and I love you, and I'm proud of you. And if you'll do me a favor, share this Instagram live video. It'll also be on YouTube, with some of your humans, and let's call more people into this space. Bye, honeys. Have a beautiful day.